Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Went Insane with a Powerful Bloodline. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way over Anime King 2 and Anime King 3. Yes, that is correct. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if I never single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And turn on that bell notification to see exactly when I post, guys. And sit back, relax, and enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode start? The intro. So, the last spot we left off, Kasumi was frightened. Something was wrong as she came home. Something was terribly wrong. After, her and a few other Inuzakas and Hayashi and several others tried to find the killer of Inuichi, they came up with nothing. But as she came home though, there was someone else in her house. But the messed up part about it, she could smell Kiba and Hana, but this third person she could smell absolutely nothing from. Rounding the corner, she was completely shocked to find Naruto. He has grown a bit, but it was him. Those eyes. They had a dot of silver in them, but those marks on his face, there was no mistaking it. As Naruto told her to sit down, she had to when she felt his presence. As he had them trapped, he had her kids trapped. So she sat down. Throughout the entire conversation that he had with Hana and Kiba, the woman was shaking. As she pleaded with him several times, but he got her off, making it look like nothing. As he gave a smile to the kids, like nothing was going on. Well, they didn't know what was going on. Everything seemed calm and cool to them, until Hana felt the bloodlust when Naruto raised his voice. He apologized, but she knew that something was wrong. She tried to get up until Naruto forcefully put her back down. He then smashed Kasumi to the table, as chaos then ruled. As he used his manipulation to bang the kids, literally bang them, snapping their arms, their legs, their ankle, as he broke them to pieces, in front of their own mother who cried. But Naruto wasn't done there, as he was gonna make her suffer. As he made her pick up a kunai, as she stabbed right into her own kid's throat. She was shaking to what she just did, as Naruto left after causing many commotion. After the Inuzakas arrived, there was only one person that they found guilty, and that was Kasumi, because Naruto had erased all his presence out of the house. And given the fact that everyone knew that he was dead, she kept on saying that it was Naruto he forced her to do this. But there was no evidence that he did. Everyone thought that she went crazy, so they locked her up in the insane asylum. Tsunade had a meeting as she did not believe that it was Kasumi. But the council did not believe that it was Naruto either, because Tsunade was the one that examined the body. As everyone believed that it was a copycat who knew Naruto and decided to get revenge for him. As Shikaku realized that the person was doing this because of all those that could have helped out Naruto. Inuichi with his mind walking, Kasumi with her nose, Shibe and him was next, and Hayashi as well. As he was coming for everyone, Gonzo tried to play the strong, brave person, but everyone started to get freaked out as he saw the way this person was running through Konoha killing people. Luckily, Ichiraku had gave them the description, and the person sounds so much like a older Naruto. But things didn't add up or make sense. Perhaps the imposter was mocking Naruto's image to make them more freaked out. As for Naruto, as he decided to pay Ichiraku a visit after, they went and spilled after the man told him not to. He left behind a little gift when he walked away. A colossal explosion wiped away the entire place. This freaked the people out even more. As Naruto made his way, it was nighttime as Naruto entered a very famous club within Konoha, as he was dressed as an electrician after killing the electrician. As he was brought to the room, as Naruto had planned all of this, he had disabled the wire. He had touched up the ceiling so it would break up at the top. He had started all of this so that he would be called. Konoha was on high alert. He could just start running around through the village and killing people, but he didn't want that. He wanted them to suffer in the most worst way possible. He wanted to torment them. He wanted to drive them mad. He wanted to drive them insane. As he couldn't help the laughter that cackled out of his throat when he said that. Because it was going to be fun. As he had more planned, and he was not going to stop. Oh no, he was not. So yeah guys, as basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the blazing objective for yourself. So what is to begin this new episode? Naruto went through his duffel bag, as a small smile came on his face as he pulled out a cylinder. Inside there was a clear liquid. As he brought it out, there was writing on it. Use only with the nozzle. Do not get into your eyes or on your hand. Wash your hands after handling. Burn any piece of clothes that it touches. Wait 5 minutes after spraying it before going out. And wear a mask, gas mask. And for the love of all things bright and beautiful, do not taste it. As Naruto rolled his eyes, I don't know why you're so scared, you old molester, he said, looking at the note that was written. As he got off the chair, as he saw the pipe going from the wall to the air vent, to the ceiling where it will connect with the fresh air, there was a basement of water at the bottom. As Naruto gently removed the glass, as he poured out the water, after which, he cracked open the cylinder and poured liquid that was inside the tube, as he held his breath the entire time. Once he was done, he closed it back in, as he pushed open the window as he gasped for breath outside. As he threw out the cylinders, they broke outside, but no one heard it. The vibration covered up the sound quite fine. As he wondered though, what did the liquid taste like? Before he shook his head, he pulled back his head through the window. Not today, Yummy, he said as he got back inside. Not today. As he pressed on the keyboard, as he calculated looking at the time, where the highest pressure point of air would circulate through the vents. As he pulled back and licked his lips, looking at his watch, the pedo said 3 minutes before the disease infected, and it's 2 minutes before the air spread around, and 5 minutes before another few guests are brought in. He bit his bottom lip as he stomped his feet on the ground with childish excitement. Perfect, perfect, perfect! As he watched the security camera towards the front door, as he watched the bouncer letting another clubber, as Naruto leaned back with glee on his face. The quarantine disease, or better known as the living nightmare syndrome, was a secret creation of Orochimaru the Sannin. The disease spiked up a human adrenaline and corroded the part of the brain that discerned reality from dreaming, conjuring nightmarish image in the mind that the victim would be terrified of. The adrenaline also gave the user a fight or flight reflex, and not to mention boosting strength and speed. It was short-lived but very effective. After 10 minutes of running and screaming, their heart will eventually explode. The only one safe from this was the others who were also infected by it. But all the people out there in the village, they will be run over and stomped and ripped apart, as the others would go crazy. As Naruto cackled happily, he looked at his watch as he heard screaming outside, as he heard people clawing on the door, as he chuckled to the heavens before he pulled on a white oxygen mask. As the seal that was on it, he could see clearly through. The eyes of the mask curved downwards, like it was sad, as the mouth curved upwards though, in a wicked, deadly grin. Orochimaru said that they need to give it time to spread, as it could only be spread by the air particles. You could not get it after being touched. Good, 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 said Naruto as he heard the chaos ensue, as he rummaged through his bag as he pulled a dark, sheath katana, a set of kunas arranged in 2 pouches, and shurikens, a silver bat, and his favorite dark blue overcoat. He frowned as he looked for more shuriken, but he couldn't find any. Did I forget to bring more shuriken? He frowned. The commotion the dancers were causing would bring attention, and in about another minute, more clubbers would be let in. The ninja of Konoha was tense. If he tried to use his iron sand to control any attackers, it would surely be dodged because the pulse would be obvious. He really hated that handicap so much, but that didn't work on his chains. His chains could not be detected until the last millisecond. So you had to be incredibly fast to dodge his chains, like incredibly fast. But with the disadvantage of his hand being placed on people to control them, they were able to sense the pulse. If they could do that, they could dodge it quite easily. But Orochimaru had helped him out by making him some equipment: the silver katana, the silver bat, and the shurikens. The overcoat was something that he bought in Kumo, but the shurikens and the kunai, if he managed to stick any of his opponents with that, they became his. But what fun was that? His plan wasn't really a massacre, but a distraction, as he ripped off his jumpsuit, showing the black pants and dark blue long sleeve underneath, as he placed the shuriken on his hip in his holster and strapped the katana to his back, as he heft the bat onto his shoulder, as he cracked his neck and placed on his coat, as he looked towards his watch and back toward secret camera as a bouncer opened the door. The deceased man and woman wasted no time as they rushed out the club, attacking anything that did not smell like them. This created chaos. As many people were trampled, the bouncer was beaten to death. Ninjas arrived seconds later though, but they were unable to contain the people as they already spread in wild panic and rage. He only had 8 minutes left before they all died. "Look at my baby," said Naruto as he placed a hand over his heart, as he wiped the mask where his eye was, as a tender tear came. They made Papa so proud. The crowd was spreading out, and now the club was empty, as Naruto pulled his foot back and kicked the door open. The music was still blaring, the lights were flashing, but there was no one there. As he started to whistle towards the exit, dragging the bat on the ground. "The Phantom is coming to get you," he whistled to himself in a jaunty tone. Time skip. He licked his lips as he was currently hiding in a bush, as he looked towards a place that was filled with envoys. Let's see, 10 envoys stayed back, 3 on the top, 7 on the inside. Some of them had to return back to the village to take care of the zombies, but 10 of them stayed behind. Isn't that interesting? You do know this is a trap, right? The low rumble of Kurama said in his head as Kurama could see through his eyes. I can smell more than 10 ninjas. Much more. He was talking about the ninjas hidden away around the safe house, miles away from Konoha, in a denser part of the forest. There were tall trees that surrounded the 2-story building, and grass all around. The place looked modest, like a normal residential house. The only thing being a sentry post at the top of the building, where the 3 of the Black Ops were. Naruto scoffed. Of course it's a trap. Why the hell would the ex-Team clan head move out of the village? They're leading me away. He might not even be inside. As Naruto paused. No, he's inside. Kurama rolled his eyes. When are you gonna let me into your little plan, kid? I want you to be surprised, Q, said Naruto. Entertain. Besides, when are you gonna tell me your age? Q, huh? When are you gonna tell me your gender? Huh, Q, said Naruto. The Great Beast shook his head in irritation. Not happening. I'm just saying, said Naruto, as he rolled over onto his back. I've carried you in my belly for 16 years now, and you don't even pay me rent. The fox was not offended, as he was already used to this. Not by choice. If I had the chance, I would. Naruto cut him off. Break out and trample on Konoha. Yeah, if I had Ryu, every time you say that, I would have 3 Ryu, said Naruto. But why don't you just tell me if you're a guy or a girl? It would make my life so much easier. If it's about getting with me, then forget about it. I'm neither male or female. I am freaking hatred loaded in chakra form. I got no gender, but I'm mostly seen as a guy though. Naruto chuckled. Well, that sucks, he said. Screw you, idiot. As Naruto covered his mouth so he couldn't chuckle too loud. You wish, Kurama, he said. Kurama grit his teeth. You just burned 4 minutes. You stupid piece of... Alright, said Naruto, cutting him off. But it's all a part of my plan, buddy. As he burst out of the bushes. Time skip. Slowly. Everything was calm and smooth. Until it was like a drop of ink that fell. The first Aburame Anvu head was crushed under his heel. As he swung his bat and knocked the other one into the side of his head. The person landed, but the monkey did he had to move, as beetles shot towards him from the third one. He switched the bat instantaneously with the silver katana, as he slashed through several of the beetles as he saw the Anvu Black Ops searching for his walkie-talkie to relay this information back. As he flashed through hand sign and slammed his hand in the bottom of the katana. A quick flash of blue lightning flooded through the blade as Naruto killed all the beetles. The Black Ops ninja tried to slit over, moving back as the other one had the walkie-talkie at him. As Naruto rushed towards him. As Naruto catch him just in time before he could leap out. As he pulled him back. He was mostly out of beetles. The second rush of insects that came from him was fried by Naruto blade. Naruto drive his skull into the ninja's skull. As the man's head started to bleed, as Naruto laughed ominously. He made sure that the magnet field disrupt the lightning chakra that he had used a moment ago, so no one understands a thing. As Naruto held on to him tight. It's awfully bad to run when you have a guess, dear Aburame. And it's even worse when you spill blood all over the place. I will never betray Lord Chibi. Never, the man said. As Naruto's smile seemed to increase. What is with you Konoha citizens? And always rushing to conclusions, said Naruto. As he once again cracked his skull into the man's face, breaking his nose. I'm going to use you. And the best part is, you don't have a say in it. As a chain shot from Naruto's coat and stabbed right in the man's heart, sealing away his chakra with a flash of blue light. The kanji chakra sealed right through the man's heart. As the man realized what Naruto was about to do, as Naruto stabbed a chain in the ground, the man begged. Take cover, said Naruto as he lifted the man and threw him, breaking him through the roof as he dropped inside as Naruto covered his ears, his heart constantly pumping and the chakra inside him started to swell. The man exploded as a block of ninjas flooded into the room to investigate the noise as Naruto touched down, as they were killed instantly. More of them came up the stairs as the lightning that Naruto touched the ground with, it started to flack through the beetles as the ninjas put up barriers quickly. As Naruto smiled up at them, you guys need to reprimand those too. Sleeping on the job is not really professional. The beetles all fell to the ground, deprived of chakra, and drained out by the lightning. As Naruto looked at the dog, Masked Anvu, with his dead eyes. I was hoping that you would be here. The 5 remaining ninjas that stood at the stairs. Kakashi, who wore the dog mask, calmly stood there. I was hoping that you died in that hole. As Naruto stabbed his thumb into his chest. Oh, I don't know how to die. You're gonna learn very soon, said Crane, as he dropped into a fighting stance. Oh, is that right, said Naruto. Alright then, let me tell you something. Before those 37 reinforcements come to bomb rush this place to bring back Konoha, Big Bad Killer, let me tell you exactly what I'm gonna do to you guys. As he pointed at Crane, I'm going to make you spill your guts. He pointed towards Stark. I'm going to remove your spine. He turned towards Ape. I'm going to burn you alive. He turned towards Cat. And I'm going to rip out your spleen and choke you with it. Dog was almost tempted to ask what Naruto was going to do with him, as his face went into a downward smirk when he looked at him. 3 more minutes before reinforcements arrived, Shibi was downstairs, keeping a close eye on them with his bugs. His team had more than 20 years of experience under their belt, and hundreds of missions to boot. They were the best in the Envo class, so he was sure that the boy was bluffing. He nodded as the ninjas blazed towards Naruto. Static flicker over Naruto as he bent his knees. A magnetic pulse came from his body as he read through their moves. Every details, every twitch, every blink, every breath. He saw every step. He slipped onto the blade that Crane was going to use to slice his throat as he cracked his foot in the man's knee. As he backed away from a knee to the gut from Stork. As he slammed his fist into Ape's stomach. As electricity flooded through his katana, shocking the man. As the man stepped back, Naruto swiped his blade as blue lightning hummed off the tip. The heat from the lightning set the man on fire. Cat could do nothing but shove his body aside and go after Naruto. Her blade out as Naruto clashed his blade against hers. As Naruto grinned at her, reminding her of his promise. It did not throw her off, but it did distract her for a moment. A slight second, which was all that he needed, as he shoved her back, as he rolled forward under a barrage of shurikens that Crane had thrown. As he quickly got back up, driving his knee into Crane's stomach, but the man blocked. With both hands, Crane gritted his teeth at Naruto's strength. As his face was wide open, no, his two hands were blocking Naruto. As Naruto twisted the katana and slapped it right into his mask, breaking it. Cat, Dog, and Stork rushed towards him again, as his body released a magnetic pulse, pushing them back. Not enough to control them, but enough to push them away. Their eyes widened when a thin wire cut through Crane's stomach, as the man dropped to his knees and coughed out blood. But Naruto had moved to the others as he spun his knife in his hands and moved towards Stork. But it wasn't just a line that stabbed into the Crane. It was actually a slice. As the man dropped to his side, it was seen as his stomach split open, as his guts started to fall out. Shit, said Kakashi as he flooded through hand signs. But he had to stop as Naruto threw his katana at him without even looking. Kakashi was smart not to catch it, but the distraction that Naruto wanted last, as Naruto cracked his foot right into Yuji's stomach as she was moving, knocking all the air out of her and bashing her into the wooden wall behind her. Stark swung a fist towards Naruto as Naruto dodged it and slammed his last katana through the man's leg, impaling it. As Naruto rose his head and cracked his skull into Stark's jaw, his tongue was caught between his teeth as it was clipped off when his mouth slammed shut, as the man fell in pain. As Naruto drive 4 fast blows to his chest. Kakashi looked over towards Yuji as she was fighting for air, trying to get oxygen back into her precious lungs. As Naruto laughed demonically. "No," said Kat. As Naruto bent his hand into a claw-like motion as he shot it forward. She watched as Naruto plunged his hand into her friend's chest. Crane gasped as blood painted inside his mask, his vision blurred. He felt Naruto's hand bypass his heart and grab onto his spine. He screamed as Naruto tore his spine out of his front. Naruto turned and broke it against Kakashi's face as Crane dropped to his side, flopping. As Naruto pulled off his headpiece. "We've caught him in the wave," he yelled in the headpiece. His eyes looked towards Kat with a smile. She punched at him, seeing that her katana was knocked away. "He's got nowhere to run." "We got him. We need backup though. He's still fighting," Naruto shouted. As Dog shook the cobwebs out of his head, as he tried to press his earpiece, but there was nothing but static coming from it. As Naruto reached and grabbed Yuji by her throat, as he lifted her up, as she sent a desperate look towards Kakashi, feeling like her end was close. As Naruto dropped the headpiece. It's really annoying when people disturb such a heartfelt reunion, don't you think, Kakashi? The katana that Naruto had thrown at him a few seconds ago spun back towards him. The weapon stabbed into Yuji's left shoulder, as Naruto used the other one that he had and tear it into the right shoulder, pinning her against the wall. As she screamed, "I control the airwaves, my man, and that means I also control radio, signals, and sounds." As Naruto smashed his fist in her gut when she tried to get free. "As far as your reinforcements know, you 4 chased me to Wave Country and had me cornered by the sea." It was true. After the ninjas heard a cracked transmission, they started to head to the wave. Shibi downstairs can't even hear a thing. When you know the right place to prod and pull magnetic forces, and having the forces cancel noise altogether, it will be all too easy. as Naruto patted Yuji on the cheeks. "He's so on edge right now," he said, as he forced her to look at Kakashi. Kakashi got up as he revealed his Sharingan, as Naruto whistled. "Isn't it a bit too late for that?" As Naruto drove his hand to Kak's stomach, as Kakashi blurred towards him. "I don't really know what a spleen feel like, so leave her it is." As he yanked. The woman cried in pain as her head dropped, as she started to succumb to her wounds. As Kakashi powered towards Naruto, "You really honestly think revealing your Sharingan this late in the show is gonna give you an advantage?" Kakashi Tonto was driven towards Naruto's throat, as chains emerged and wrapped around the blade, as a vibration shook Kakashi down to the core, as Naruto released his blade and grabbed the mask, ripping it off, as he grabbed Kakashi's face in a claw, as he slammed his head in the wall 3 times, before slamming his knee into his face. The last attack bounced Kakashi's head off the wall furiously, as Kakashi limped down, his head embedded in the wooden wall. As for Yuji, was Naruto pulled her nose up so her mouth came up as well. Lowering her jaw, Naruto shoved the liver in her mouth. He muttered as she gagged, "You know, I had a huge crush on you once. When I was in class and I already knew what Naruto was going to teach." As Naruto looked her down, "I always write poems, and said I was going to give them to you one day. One day. You were the smartest, coolest lady I've ever seen, and whenever you were around, my legs turned to jelly. And you're an orphan too. So much in common. I thought to myself that you were above me though. You were a perfect 10, but you see me, I'm a stubborn son of a bitch." As her hands came up as she tried to stop him from choking her with her liver. "My ultimate goal in life was to be the best ninja in the whole goddamn world," said Naruto as he puffed out his chest just like when he was younger. "And my second goal was to ask you out. And I somehow believed that would somehow lead to marriage." His whole hand started disappearing in her mouth as he pushed on. "Aruka-sensei said that my stealth was the best in the class, so I'm not sure if you saw me following you. I was so stupid back then. More than a few times I got a black eye, a few bruised ribs, when I got caught sneaking into a bar that you, Uncle and Kurt and I went in. But they took me to the alley in the back and beat me up, so I'm pretty sure that you didn't hear me." His smile became a bit sad. "I really like you. You know that?" he said. "Kid," said Krama. "She's dead." "Ah," said Naruto as he placed his forehead in the wall. "So she is." As he removed his hand from her mouth, Kakashi pulled his head out of the wall with a silver chain ripped into his chest. As he sealed away his chakra, "I got a bit sidetracked there, Q. Where was I again?" said Naruto. "It's cool. Kakashi's trying to run away again." "Oh yes," said Naruto. As Naruto watched as Kakashi was trying to crawl away from him, the famous copy ninja that copied over 1,000 jutsus. As Naruto pushed off the wall, as Naruto pulled out his bat, as he did a few practice swings first, before he whacked Kakashi across the head. The man was thrown as he smashed into the wall, before crumbling down on the ground in a heap of limbs. "We have a lot of catching up to do, but for now, I still have something important planned." As he grabbed him by his silver gray hair, as he dragged him up the stairs with him. As he entered, pleased as Shibi was taking him seriously, as the whole place shook, a buzzing sound all around him. Shibi Aburame clan, head of the Aburame clan, stood at the door, as bugs swallowed the entire place. The place became dark as they were buzzing all around. Shibi had the strongest beetle, as he had the strongest hive in the entire clan. The man's eyes flicked at Kakashi as Naruto lifted him up by his hair. A twisted smirk came on Naruto's face before he turned his attention back to Shibi. "I know what's running through your mind right now," said Naruto. "He's a ninja of the leaf. His life is in service of the leaf. There is no better than dying for the leaf." As Naruto burst out laughing, as Naruto dropped him and stepped on his throat, not enough to kill him but enough to restrict his airways. "But I don't give a flying hell," said Naruto as he started to crush even more, as Kakashi started to claw at the ground. As Naruto broke it, as blood exploded from Kakashi's mouth, his hands dropped to his side limp, dead. As Naruto extended both of his hands. "Come at me, bro," he said. "I'm talking to you as well," said Naruto as he looked toward the staircase. As Krama chuckled as shadows shot from the staircase, beetles dropped down, a lot of them. "Now!" yelled Shikaku, as all of them came raining down. The house stopped quaking as the beetles swamped over Naruto. As Shikaku was at the staircase, his hand locked in the ramp seal. as the bugs had swamped Naruto completely. Shibi was about to say something, but the moment he opened his mouth, boom! The bugs were fried and blasted away from him, blue flames shooting out in all different directions, as the house crumbled, breaking a few feet down the ground under the foundation. Shikaku shaded his eyes with his forearms as he winced, as his shadow possession technique was negated, as the blue fire burned away the bugs that covered the boy. Shibi winced as he felt hundreds of his insects died instantly. He felt the queen in his guts, already, trying to replenish the hive, giving a hormone for quick growth in their eggs. But the queen bug ate more and more of his chakra to produce. In the center of the bonfire stood Naruto as he threw his head back as he looked up to the ceiling that was broken piece by piece, as he released a mad, chaotic chuckle to the sky. As he brought his bat down and smashed it on the floor, blue fire roared around him as two arms shot out from the inferno and slammed into Shikaku's chest. The speed caught the man completely off guard. Thick black smoke blasted out of his mouth to left blood as he broke through the wall and crashed. 9 tails made from blue fire spin wildly out of Naruto. As Shibi, before he could move though, a bat crushed in his skull. Everything went dizzy for the man as Naruto grabbed him by his throat. As Naruto placed the bat in the man's face, "I got something really fun for you, buddy," he said. As Naruto frowned when he saw a dent on top of his bat, testament to how hard he had smashed the bat in Shibi's skull. "I'm thinking about suing Orochimaru, he gave me the worst stuff," as he dropped the bat and threw off his torn up overcoat. "He's not used to how dense your chakra is, kid," said Kurama. "Feeling awfully talkative today, aren't you, Q?" said Naruto, as he started to drag Shibi. As the zombies were already dead by now, the 8 minutes were long gone. The shinobis must be returning back when they realized that they went on a wild goose chase. "I've been catching up on 6 years worth of sleep," said Kurama. "I thought you said you were just constant chakra. You don't even have a gender. Why do you sleep?" said Naruto. "I'm conscious chakra, you just said that. Of course I need sleep. I'm freaking conscious." "Whatever, Q," said Naruto, before he broke his fist in Shibi's face as the man was trying to escape as Naruto knocked him out cold. "The light show probably attract all the ninjas coming from way over here. That gives me enough time to set off a show and set this guy off." Kurama hummed impressed. "Your distraction was a distraction. You got your living time bomb. You probably destroyed Shikaku lungs with that punch. What I don't get though is why you didn't kill him." As Naruto swept behind a tree as he suppressed his chakra and Shibi's with his bloodline, as masked ninjas rushed past him hurrying to where they saw the bright blue flames, Naruto lipped tight as he giggled into his left, bloody hand. 10 minutes later as the very last ninja passed him, completely oblivious to his presence. "He's gonna die choking from smoke coming from his burning lungs," said Naruto. "A painful death I will only wish for a pompous doof like him. Trust me, buddy, he will die. Very, very slowly. I stopped underestimating you the day you beat me rock, paper, scissors on how to deal with Teiwaya," said Kurama, as Naruto chuckled fondly. "Nice girl. She's got some pretty inventive swear words." A bit on the clingy side though. The girl refused to let him out of her sight, claiming that his craziness was gonna burn the hidden sound to the ground. It didn't help that she kept on randomly cussing at him. It got annoying after a while, so he had knocked her out and left her with Kabuto. He was fairly certain that she would scream her lungs after him the next time they met, and perhaps he would kill her. He's only been holding himself back so far because of his mutual alliance with Orochimaru, which was beneficial to them both. "I'm telling you, kid, she got a thing for you," said Kurama as he waggled his eyebrows. "She's probably the type that loves to be dominated." "Oh, shut up, Q," said Naruto, as Kurama chuckled even more. "So, you know that she likes you?" "Well, that kind of became obvious when she tried to supervise me, taking a shower, and camping my room." "And what did she say?" "I would be a great toy," said Naruto. "What about Karen?" said Kurama. "What about Karen?" said Naruto. "She seems like a nice mate. I think she's into that Sasuke kid. I'm not gonna steal a guy's girl, Q. And even if she was not, I wouldn't go for her." "Why not?" "She's too weak. She'd fall apart the first 2 days I'm with her." As Kurama nodded, "Hey, remember that time that Sasuke tried to shove that store in my back?" As both Jinchurikis and Beast cracked up at the memory, Sasuke thought that he could challenge Naruto. He didn't even get 2-step in before his wrists were snapped, and Naruto had sat right on his head. He didn't kill the kid because he was under Orochimaru protection. The kid should lighten up a bit. All talking, no bite, said Kurama with a laugh, as Naruto made his way towards the village. As Naruto leaped himself up, jumping onto a tree and jump, 3 chains came out of his sleeves. As a tap, as a barrier appeared, the barrier that surrounded Konoha. The magnetic force destabilized the barrier. Naruto passed through as he landed on green, luscious grass. All Sasuke had gotten was a serious reprimand from Orochimaru for challenging Naruto, and he was forced to apologize to Naruto, though he had sworn that he would kill Naruto after he killed his brother. Orochimaru had apologized for Sasuke's rudeness, but he didn't really hold against the Snake Sani. He didn't really dislike him. He did kill the third before he could, but whenever the man looked at him, his skin kind of crawled, as the man did not get involved with Naruto destroying Konoha, as he felt content in killing his sensei. As Naruto had been lenient when he did with his subordinates, not just to murder them all when they tried to do something to him. He even talked to him funny. Naruto just felt disgusted when Orochimaru looked at him, his reptilian eyes and his hands twitching towards him. Damn pedophile, Naruto thought. The man should thank his stars that he was still useful to him. As Naruto dropped Shiba in front of the Hokage's office, as he kicked open the door, as the receptionist was surprised, as he coughed his hand over his mouth and yelled, "Special delivery for the lady of the house," he said. A chain stabbed into Shiba, waking him up. As he realized where he was, as Naruto threw him and he ran away from the explosion of poison bugs that erupted. Time skip. 2 days later, Yamanaka flower shop within Konoha. Glaze over teal green eyes watch a 16-year-old boy in a pair of black jumpsuit pants and dark black sleeve shirt bend his knees as he stood back up and lifted the heavy flower pot as he carried towards the counter, passing the counter going inside. As he was a greenhouse at the back, as he set them down in return, she gave him a warm smile. If she could see his face fully, under that green cap, she suspected that he was smiling as well. She saw her daughter trying to copy the amazing feat that the kind boy had done, but she wasn't able to lift the heavy one, as she carried a smaller one, puffing out her chest to get the boy's attention, but only getting a familiar ear ruffle and a chuckle. The woman, Samari Yamanaka, was an average height woman with long blonde hair that was tied up into a loose bun, as she had cute facial features. She was in a loose white shirt with the sleeves rolled up, black tights, and pink and red sneakers. She had lost a lot of color after hearing about her husband's demise to the hands of the phantom that was terrorizing Konoha, and she had lost a lot of weight. But for the past 4 days, the boy had been coming over to her house and her shop to help out. However he could, Ino didn't mind having the attractive boy around, always trying to impress him with her strength, or woo him with her beauty. This time he lifted 10 of them, coming straight from grass country, as he brought them towards the greenhouse. If he had not come, the retired Chunin wouldn't have been able to pack up the pots quickly. She sniffed. The boy was just as kind and helpful as Inuichi, as she rubbed at her eyes as he came out. "I don't know what I would do without you, Kurokaze," she said, as Kurokaze chuckled and rubbed back of his neck. "I'm sure that you'd get by fine, lady." "Smart," he said with a small smile. She shook her head, as she had to hold herself before her tears fall. He guided her towards a chair to sit down, as she gave him a thankful look. "Thank you," she said. He waved away her appreciation as he pointed towards the cart moving away from the shop. "I paid off the delivery man, so you don't have to worry." She wanted to hug the nice boy for all that he had done for her and her daughter. She had used up most of the family savings for Inuichi's funeral, and the kind funds was diverted to rebuilding the things that the monster had destroyed. He was making practically nothing, but he was working for free and helping her pay off her debts. He patted her back as he gave her a smile, as she didn't see the secret smile that he had, or the way his eyes sparkled with pleasure. "You should take the night off and visit your friends, Lady Samara. It's not good to hold yourself inside." She bobbed her head and wiped her eyes back of her wrists. 2 more important women had been widowed by the actions of the Phantom Fox. Shikaku and Shibe had been buried the other day, and the clans were in deep grieving for how they had been taken out. The dark-eyed teen was telling her to go and be with her friends. As she looked up, Can you come with me? Ino and I would really appreciate you being there." "I will see what I can do." The fact that he didn't give her a straight answer made her shoulders dip a bit. He had to bite the inner of his cheek so he wouldn't laugh as he patted her on the back once again. 8 workers had died in the office at the poisonous bugs. 15 were in critical condition. Shizune was in Tsunede's office, so she was fine. Protected by the door, Tsunede was not in the tower. She had been diverted towards the ninjas, towards a way to find the phantom. As Ino bumped into him with her behind, by accident, she said, as he pushed his hand out to hold her back at arm length. Hey, Kurakaza, you want to see something cool? If he didn't know any better, he couldn't say that this was the same girl that was starving herself and lying around the house after hearing of her father's death. She was not faking her attraction towards a mysterious boy, but she was also using a way to cope for her father's death. The 12-year-old girl looked between the 16-year-old eyes. There was a buzz in his pocket as Naruto pulled out a flip phone out of his pocket. Hold that thought, he said, as he was still holding the girl back by her face. Yo, he said. Look outside, as Naruto looked outside towards the cafe across the street, as he saw none other than Kabuto waving at him. Do you have time? Naruto breathed out through his nose. I'll be there, he said, as he ended the call. He looked apologetically towards the two blonde. Ino had stopped trying to hug him as she was disappointed. So was her mother. Duty calls, he said. Is there something wrong? Samara asked as she stood up. She was only 3 inches shorter than the teen. Nothing too serious. I'll be back when I can. As he sent them a 2-finger wave as he got to his feet, Kabuto exited the shop as he came out. The two of them watched as the silver-haired man walked towards the young man that's been helping them for the past few days. As Ino looked towards the man, his face sparking a recollection in her mind. But before she could remember anything, they were gone in a swirl of leaf. Forced to death as Naruto shoved Kabuto away. As he had held onto his shoulder to flash them here, they had to use 6 Shanshin to get here. Kabuto leaned against a tree as he crossed his arms, looking rather amused. Where is he? Said Naruto. A soft hand grabbed his shoulder as Naruto turned and leaped away. It's been a while, dear child. As Naruto ran his hand down his clothing to straighten it. What have I told you about touching me, old man? He moved his body so that Kabuto wasn't behind him. He never trusted the pedophiles, so he would never trust the pedophiles. Apprentice. As Orochimaru licked his lips in amusement. But you're just so cute. No touching, said Naruto. As Orochimaru chuckled and raised his hand in defeat. Fine, fine, you're no fun. You know, you're one short cold-hearted bastard, Naruto. To seduce the family of the first person you killed. That's quite dark. It's funny, watching him cry and weep over something I did, said Naruto. He has them wrapped around his finger, said Kabuto. Do you plan on luring more people to you, he asked. Of course, said Naruto. All that he had to do was tap into his human charm and run wild. He didn't want to brag, but his acting skills were superb. What do you have planned for them? I might keep some of them around as toys. After brainwashing them, of course, said Naruto. Of course, Orochimaru, Kabuto said, agreeing with Naruto, as the emotion for him to go on. Then the others, I'm gonna really enjoy watching the betrayal on their faces. It will really burn the clan heads when they found out their kids are working for me. He already planted the seeds of loyalty with Inubichi's family, and he was in the process of doing the same with Shikaku and Shibe's family. The Inuzakas weren't that far behind either. The Hyuga clan was probably gonna be the easiest. The heiress was feeble and soft. The youngborn was stubborn and strong, but she idolized the strong branch Hyuga, who were planning a revolt. It wasn't just gonna be female though. There'll be plenty of males helping him doing his work, until he get bored of both female and male and discarded them. Would you be willing to spare a few of the people to be experimented on, Orochimaru asked, with a sadistic grin, as Naruto nodded. Certainly, think of it as my way of repaying for all that you helped me with. I'm close to finishing with Konoha, but there's still that other thing. The second mission. Speaking of which, is that why you call me here? Orochimaru snapped his fingers, a normal-sized scroll appeared in a poof of smoke. As he tossed it to Naruto, I was able to analyze Jiraiya's dead body, he said with ear quotes, and I was able to indeed confirm that it's indeed a fake. As Naruto read all that Orochimaru had written concerning his analysis, there's only one other person besides me that is able to make fake bodies of that quality. I used to work with him before I quit 4 years ago. As Naruto rolled up the scroll, the Akatsuki, he said. That's right, sorcerer of the Red Sand. That is his name. He's a master puppeteer. He used human puppets. He has such a knowledge of the human body parts that he was able to replicate the entire human. But like me, could only do so if he had a few strands of DNA to replicate. That means he had a source to get a fresh sample of Jiraiya's DNA. As Naruto raised eyebrow, so you're saying that Jiraiya gave Sasuke his DNA? That meant that the Toad Sage was still alive and was hiding under the guise of being dead. I had Kabuto to look over the body to clue us in on where it was replicated, but he came up with nothing. Then that left us with contacting one of Sasori, contacts the Land of Snow, asking her if there was a lab he could replicate Jiraiya's body in. She was Sasori's go-to girl when it came to medicine. She said that the only reliable facility was in Snow Country capital. We went there and we convinced the building manager to tell us who owned the lab, and it was under one of Sasori's aliases, Yuberi Miyamoto. We ran through the scrolls. He was the one that paid for everything. And we broke into the lab, which was very difficult, and we did some snooping around. As Naruto unfurled the bottom half of the scroll, as there was more to read, as Orochimaru just offering to go on. Residue of Uzumaki chakra in the ear. 3 vials of blood gotten from Uzumaki. As Naruto looked up, you think my mother was there? Your parents died after the Kyuubi attack 16 years ago, and their bodies were real. Believe me. Your parents were very seclusive about your mother's pregnancy. Only a small handful of people knew about it, and I was one of them. As everything started to click into place for Naruto. Are you saying that I have a twin? But guys, be interested right here. If you want to see the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends and social media platforms. And I'm off now. See you guys soon. Peace.